Hello, welcome to Curt and Paul Discuss. I am, of course, Paul Chappell, and today I am reviewing Creed 2, a sequel to the first Creed movie 3 years ago, starring Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, and Dolph Lundgren, who played Ivan Drago in the original film. This is actually a sequel to Creed and a sequel to Rocky 4, which is the weirdest thing, one of the weirdest things I think I've ever said about a movie sequel. I mean, just imagine that. This movie was a sequel to a spinoff of an original series, which had, I think, 6 movies. There were 6 Rocky movies, right? So it's a sequel. It just boggles my mind that this movie even exists, and it becomes really apparent at one moment in the movie. I don't even think I've seen Rocky 4 in years, but there was a moment in the movie where they show a flashback to that movie, and you see Brigitte Nielsen ringside with Ivan. She's playing Ivan Drago's wife, and I totally forgot she was in that movie. And I suddenly remember she also was married to Sylvester Stallone for a while, and she was the hot item back in the late 80s. I mean, she was in Beverly Hills Cop 2. She was in Cobra. She was in just everywhere. She's just this tall Danish, beautiful Danish woman, and I was just shocked to see her in this movie playing the original character that she played in Rocky 4. And I just could not believe, I was expecting Dolph Lundgren to be in this movie. That was already awesome enough, but Brigitte Nielsen makes an appearance. And in fact, she makes 2 appearances in the movie, and I'm just sitting there thinking, I cannot believe I'm watching a sequel to Rocky 4. What, like 30 years after the fact? 30 years? And it's not only a sequel to Rocky 4, it's a sequel to Creed, which is based on the character that Rocky beat up and later became this movie. If you're my age and you saw this movie as a kid, you have got to see this movie, because it was just a flood of nostalgia. And like I said, I cannot believe that someone made this happen. And Ryan Coogler is his name, the same guy that did Black Panther, the director of Black Panther. He didn't return for this movie. A guy named Stephen Capel Jr. Directed this movie. But, the crazy times we live in. This movie did something I never thought I would see. It made me feel for Ivan Drago and his son, Victor Drago. Because the whole plot of the movie is that when Ivan Drago lost to Rocky in Rocky 4, his life was ruined. Now you got to remember, that character, Ivan Drago, was a propaganda tool. This was back when the Soviet Union was still a thing. And Russians were ejecting their athletes with illegal drugs and winning Olympics. This is, which is kind of funny because we have some American athletes who've done the same thing. But besides that, the point is, here we are years later. The Soviet Union doesn't even exist, and we still have Rocky movies. And they actually use that as a plot device in the movie, because apparently Ivan Drago's life was so ruined by his failure, which is something very believable in Soviet Union, something that would happen to an athlete. But his life was destroyed by his loss to Rocky, and as a result, he's dirt ass poor in this movie at the start. He's living in the Ukraine. His wife has left him, but he has this huge son who he's training to box. And at the beginning of the film, you see Adonis Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan, win the heavyweight title of the world. And this is the moment that Ivan Drago has been waiting for, because his son has been training and training. And they show him in a ring with guys. Just, he's never gone more than 3 rounds. That's how huge, how fierce he is as a warrior, as a boxer. So, and when you see this guy, you see him the way Rocky sees him. This guy is going to kill. As impressive as Adonis Creed is, and you can see him right there, as impressive as he is, this guy has got to be 2 inches taller than Adonis Creed. And he's just a huge guy. Victor Drago is played by, he's actually German. That's another funny little side. Is a funny thing about this movie. All the Russians are played by non-Russians, but they seem like real Russians. Like Brigitte Nielsen is like 6 feet 2 or something. I don't really know her how tall she's tall, and she looks like a healthy what a healthy Russian woman would look like, but she's Danish. And I believe Dolph Lundgren is Swedish. The guy playing his son, Victor Drago, his name is Florian Montano. He's German. So, but all 3 of them are just huge. These huge Russian-looking people, and this guy is just impressive to look at. And you would think the caricature that Ivan Drago played in that original Rocky, he was just a cartoon character. But in this movie, they managed to give him a motivation for wanting. He wants revenge. His life was ruined. His wife left him. He wants to get his prestige back. So you actually feel for him a little bit in this movie. And his son doesn't even want revenge. There's no reason for him to hate Adonis Creed, but he wants the approval of his father. And at one point in the movie, his mother comes back, Brigitte Nielsen. She's playing, what was her name? Ludmila Drago. She left them when he was really young, so he doesn't even really know her as a mother. She went off and married some rich Russian businessman, and he kind of wants her. He wants her approval too, because at one point his father stresses to him, "This is why your mother left us. Your mother left us because I was not strong enough. I did not win. You must win this fight." And you feel for this kid. Because he wants his father's approval. He wants to know that mother that left him and his father. He wants the approval of his native country. So I at no point during this film did I feel like he was a caricature villain. At no point did I hate him. He was very sympathetic. Just great writing. And you see it at the end of the movie that the writing credits, Sylvester Stallone got a writing credit on this film. And that's the one, I think, big secret in Hollywood over the years is that Sylvester Stallone is a really intelligent man. In fact, I heard someone, I can't remember who, talking about he has a script that he never produced, but it's about Edgar Allan Poe. And I would really, really love to read that script because Sylvester Stallone. I don't know how much he wrote of the script, but he hit all the points that he needed. All the I mean, let's face it. These movies have a formula. The formula is at the beginning of the movie, the boxer, whether it's Rocky or Apollo Creed or whoever, is at the top of the world. Then they get beaten. And then later in the film, they go, they, instead of training in a stuffy gym, they go that extra mile and they go like Rocky, I think, in one of the movies. From what I can remember, I haven't seen so many of them in so long, but he's punching meat in a freezer, which is somehow a thing, and he's chasing chickens. It's like they go back to the roots of what boxing is, and they make it tough and just grassroots, getting back to the roots of what makes boxing competitive. And like I said, they take it out of the gym to the rough and tumble of the neighborhood, and they do that in this movie. You got Creed going into the desert to some secretive place where boxers who want to regain their fierceness, they go, and he's running out in the desert, and he's digging holes with a sledgehammer. It's funny how they come up with some crazy physical activity for the boxer to engage in, but they do it. And but it's that same formula, which it was kind of impressive that even though they used that same formula in all these films, and in particularly this film, they were still able to get moments of great character reflection and characterization and humor and all these elements that make up a fully formed film, and at the same time keep that tone. So I guess is what I'm saying is go see this movie. It's a great movie. It hit all the proper critical points for me. And on top of that, it was just an entertaining movie. If I had any complaints, it would be I kind of was annoyed by some of the rap music. I get why they put rap music. It was kind of that trap music too, not even just regular rap music. It was just, I get why they put rap music in these movies. You gotta appeal to your base. But at the same time, I felt like this is not going to age very well. I bet I could go back to watch the original Rocky movies, and the music, even though the technology or whatever they had to film back then probably is outdated by today's standards. The music probably isn't, because from what I can remember from Rocky, it had a proper score. So I was kind of annoyed by that every time you have to have a black character, you got to have some hip hop music. And in my estimation, it wasn't even good hip hop music. I have no idea who the artist was, but that would be one of the only complaints I had about it. But it's just, like I said, it's amazing to me that they got back all the actors from the original film. It's amazing to me that even the actors are all still alive. I mean, Sylvester Stallone's got to be in his 70s now. I think I read somewhere he's two years older than the trainer in the original Rocky, Mickey. He's 2 years older than that guy, and that guy was old as dirt. So it's just amazing that all these actors are still in the business and they're still alive. Even if you really want to get down, right down to Carl Weathers, who played his father, Apollo Creed, is still alive. And I'd really be eager to see what he thinks about this film. From what I've heard, though, he had a falling out with Sylvester Stallone. One of the reasons why, he was never in the Expendables. Every other action star was in the Expendables. But for some reason, Carl Weathers was the black action hero back when there weren't black action heroes. So it'd be curious to hear what he thinks about these new movies. And man, it'd be nice to even get a picture of him and Michael B. Jordan together. But I'm giving, like I said, this movie 2 thumbs up. I'm sure if Curt was here, he would love this movie. And like I said, I'm encourage each and everybody watching this YouTube channel to go see this movie right now. It's doing very well in theaters. It's already made their budget back and then some. And the only thing I have left to say is, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'm not going anywhere, people. If you like my reviews, there's more to come. So hit that subscribe button. I guess it should be over here somewhere. That's all I got for you today. And I will see you when I see you. Thanks for watching.